Welcome back, everybody. One of my favorite segments here. We're talking about the cool stuff in Utah. Today, we're getting a rare inside look at a building in Salt Lake City, which has been turning heads for nearly 100 years. Take a look here.
Today, we are at the Salt Lake Masonic Temple. In 1927, Egypt was all the rage, right? They had just found King Tut's tomb. Break it down like a fraction for you. Freemasonry, a fraternal organization, one of, if not the oldest in the world. George Washington, Winston Churchill, Benjamin Franklin, Louis Armstrong, Henry Ford, John Wayne, maybe Mr. T? No, probably not Mr. T. Just some of the famous cats who are also members of the Freemasons. Backstage of the auditorium, this right here is all original. This is the original lighting system for the stage from 1927. I promised them if I came in the cage that I wouldn't touch anything. It's hard to believe that this is just right here in Salt Lake City, and so many people have never seen it, right? I'm standing in a room that is 94 years old.
He chose poorly.
Indeed. There's one thing I've learned about fraternal orders and secret societies is their affinity for hats.
Call the hat on, Knights Templar Chapeau. Of course, we do it 4.5.
Oh, okay. They're like Captain Crunch. Can I wear that one?
Yeah.
Cool. They're like, oh, John Smith's coming. Better lock up the swords. This is why I can't hold positions of authority. Even in a fraternal order of something, I would immediately let that power go to my head.
All right, John Smith with the Arrow 103.5 joins us. And John, what a neat experience.
So cool, right?
Okay, we're talking, this is the one that's right on South Temple.
Yeah, hidden in plain sight.
And those huge auditoriums are inside that?
Yeah, this building is, it is just immensely large. It is so
deep,
big.
Or what is it?
No, it's all above ground. There's 5 floors and they just goes on and on and on. And it's got auditoriums and banquet halls and meeting rooms and offices and libraries, and it just goes on and on and on. And there are rooms in there that they were so kind and welcoming for us. Surprisingly, I thought they'd give us a harder time getting in.
Yeah.
But really, we just asked, and a friend of mine named Monty, he was like, yeah, come on in.
Really?
He's a Grand Poobah or something. I don't know. He had a really long title that I don't remember.
He was important. We'll say that.
But he let us go in. We went into some of the rooms in there that haven't been opened since the 1980s. So there's like layers of dust, and there's old cabinets, and there's old like band instruments.
What is in there? I mean, we're looking at some of this. I couldn't believe like the hats and the swords. What were the swords for?
So it's a fraternal organization, a very large one, a worldwide one, and one that has been around for centuries. And they have a lot of traditions and ceremonies,
Sure.
And they get together and they wear hats and ceremonial clothing, and they have meetings about you know, their worthiness to be in the fraternity and whatnot. A lot of stuff they didn't really explain to me.
Okay.
But you know, me being an outsider and all. But
you were telling me they also have a lot of charitable organization work that they do.
Yes, they have a thing called the Scottish Rite, where they help kids for underprivileged families get schooling and daycare and stuff like that.
Okay, what was for you, what was the most interesting? I've driven past this building hundreds of times. I've always wondered what's inside. So what was the most interesting thing to you?
The fact that it was spotless.
Really?
The fact that you have a building this size that is 100 years old, and every room we went into, despite the fact that we showed up basically unannounced, was spotless.
Really?
Not even a tiny speck of dust anywhere. Except for the rooms that hadn't been opened.
And no pictures
decades.
of Mr. T, as you were saying.
No, I was hoping to pity a fool, but no Mr. T.
Well, they really do. I mean, the list of people who are Mason.
Yes.
Who are
Masons. You know, you've got all the way back to the nation's founding fathers, to some of Utah's founding fathers, including Joseph Smith and Brigham Young. We're all Masons, and a lot of the architects of the city. Here in the state, whoa, hey dude.
Matt's coming out.
We're in fact Masons, so you can see a lot of their influence throughout Salt Lake. It's really cool to see.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
That had to have been one where they said yes, that you were like, yes.
Yeah, I was like, really?
Oh,
and he's
cool.
like, yeah, come on in. I was like, oh,
so
okay,
cool.
cool.
Okay, so you can watch the entire
Let's
story
go.
on all the platforms, all the social media sites. What's next? I always wonder what you have coming up.
We're going to go take a journey up to Box Elder and talk about the Golden Spike.
Cool.
And the fact that Utah wasn't so keen on the festivities at the Golden Spike.
Really?
When it happened, 200 years ago.
Cool. All right.
We'll explain soon.
Some mystery in that one.
That for a cliffhanger.
It's a tease.
I know.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, John, we love it. We love your stories. We love seeing the cool stuff in Utah. And we love your spin on everything.
High five.
High five. They're fun. And he's got such a good personality to go with it. All right. Thank you for being here. You can check everything out, of course, on The Arrow.